signed Marcus Rashford in the January transfer window on loan. It was one of the biggest stories in probably world football, but definitely in English football. It was everywhere. The numbers that Aston Villa got on the social media post, which I know isn't a metric to judge a player by, but still were insane. More than anything we've done in the past. And now the player is apparently saying, and him rumours in around his camp, that he wants to join us permanently in the summer. But should we do it, there's so much to carefully weigh up and consider about a Marcus Rashford permanent deal in the summer that we're going to have to look into. And that is exactly what we're going to do this video. So if you are enjoying the content, leave a like, subscribe below with notifications on for more. Comment your thoughts as well. Should we get Rashford on a permanent deal? But let's look at the nitty gritty because there's quite a bit of it. Let's jump into how he's actually doing for Aston Villa. Now, for a player that was frozen out of the Manchester United squad for not wanting to put in the effort, not being a professional and not being good enough, I think he's done pretty well. He's been the utmost professional, to be fair, since he's joined Aston Villa. There's been no stories of training issues. And Emery seems to trust him enough to be throwing him in pretty much most games. And not only that, he is playing very, very well. He's tenacious, he tracks back, which certainly we're told he doesn't do. He presses, he's aggressive in his tackles, and he works his socks off. And he has reaped the rewards. He is yet to get a goal for Villa in 9 games, which again, for an attacking player, you would like to see him get involved in those goals. But that's not to say that he hasn't been contributing, because he does have, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, 4 goal contributions in his 9 games for Villa. And where they have come from, well, 2 assists in 5 games in the Premier League, 1 assist in 2 in the FA Cup, and 1 assist in 2 in the Champions League. The partnership that he has seemed to have struck up with Marcus Asensio is something that dreams were made of. But again, we can't just purely look at the stats when we look at a deal for Marcus Rashford on a permanent basis. We have to look at this. The market value is 56 million. Now, that is to an extent null and void, because we have an option to buy him for just £40 million in the summer. And I say just, it is still a hell of a lot of money. £40 million, we're probably going to have to sell a couple of players to make that money up. So that's one option. 40 mil, straight up fee, perfect. He is 27, he'll be 28 in the start of next season, around October time, right? 31st of October, Halloween birthday, very, very spooky. 28, probably has about 3-4 years of his prime left, so that isn't too bad. Obviously operating on the left wing here, as you can see. His stats this season, relatively average. Per 90s paint a bit of a better picture in terms of goals, expected assists and stuff like that. But, you know, a majority of these minutes did come for United, where, to be fair, he wasn't terrible this season. I don't really know why they were hating on him so much. You know, four goals in 15 in the Premier League in a struggling team, 2 in 2 in the EFL Cup, 1 in 6 in the Europa League as well. Decent ratings across the board, but he hasn't set the world alight. That's what we're looking at here. He hasn't set the world alight, but he has been very, 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 very good for Aston Villa. So you think, well, we've got the option to buy him for less than his current market value, right? £40 million. We can get it just like that. We can snap him up. The player wants the move. But you guys know, FFP is chomping at the bit to get us. And our wage turnover is ridiculous. And he's on a lot of money. As you can see on the screen, his salary is quite frankly ridiculous. And he's earned it, because in his career he has been really, really good, really, really important for Manchester United. But £225,000 a week base salary. On top of that, you have £45,000 roughly of bonuses. That puts him at around £270,000 a week. Now, to put that into perspective, Aston Villa's current top earner is Marcus Rashford, to be fair. But apart from that, is going to be the likes of Kamara, Tielemans, Martinez, and I think there's one more who I can't just think off the top of my head, who are on £150,000 a week. So that is 120 grand on top of that. Pardon me. That's like Watkins and Emi Martinez together earn about that amount of money. I mean, it's ridiculous money, you know, and like I say, our wage turnover is not good. However, can that be offset? So when we first signed Rashford and people done the estimates and stuff like that, it said that we would earn about £80 million back from signing Marcus Rashford. And you think, how is that even possible? Well, like, I don't know if you remember a while ago when United signed Pogba for like over 100 million, they made most of that money back that season in revenue from that sale. Now, where does that get broken down into? Shirt sales. Marcus Rashford was, I think, Manchester United's leading shirt sales person, or whatever you want to call it, for like the last 3-4 seasons. That's revenue. That is a lot of money. I saw the Rashford tops going absolutely crazy on the Villa. There was Man United fans coming to buy Villa tops. Do you know what I mean? That's 95 quid a pop if you're getting the printing on the back as well. So you'd imagine next season, permanent number 9, that's going to be a lot of money. He'll bring new eyes to the football club, increased revenue. People will go to Villa Park probably just to see Rashford play. If you're a tourist, you're coming over to England, you want to see Marcus Rashford. Everyone knows Marcus Rashford because of what he's done inside and outside of football. But is that enough to cover everything else? The salary? Probably not. I think he would have to take a pay cut. And as a player, 27, 28 years of age, going to take a pay cut when, let's be honest, he could probably just sit around, go Saudi, he could probably go somewhere like PSG or somewhere in a different league, or Bayern Munich, something like that, get loads of money and not have to worry about anything. It's going to be tough to get him here, and I think it has to be for less money. So it's not impossible. I think just with the finances involved, it is improbable. But comment your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys soon up the Villa.